Happy New Year, everyone! Ripsy Thun here with the first vid of the new year. Was anyone else surprised by the nice little gift we got for New Year's? 18 more Saint Courts, 1 summon ticket, and a celebratory CE Happy X3 order. They might have they've been mighty generous with the courts over the past couple of months, and not for one been just tickled pink. Been a while since I had this much free courts. Now, in my previous vid, I predicted Saber Wars was going to start on January 5th. Meh, kind of a day off, but close enough. Maybe I have the intuition B skill, like Saber Lily and Salter. All kidding aside, Saber Wars is 3 days away, and if you participate in the Gouda Gouda event, will function quite similarly. During the event, you will earn Artorium points to reach milestones and receive various rewards for your troubles. If the JP version is any indicator, by just completing the Saber Wars daily quest, you'll net a 306,000 Artorium points, enough to receive at least 1 copy of everything that this event has offered, minus the crystallized lore at least. This time around, the servers that will give you bonus points is any of the Saber servers that have been released. That includes Gillius Erased, the worst Saber servant to have ever existed. So, giving you 10% bonus is Horndog Fergus, Trash Gillis, and Fatman Caesar. A 20% bonus will be awarded for using Atoria Pendragon, aka Saba, Daddy Issues Mordred, Rikitaki Syndrome Okita, Destruction Incarnate Altera, Most Hated Spook Saber Siegfried, and whatever you want me to be Chevalier de Eon. Moving up 1 tier are Salter and the Umu Queen herself, Nero, granting a 30% bonus. And the 2 at the top of the bonus ladder is the not so mysterious Heroine X and Squire Girl Saber Lily with a whopping 50% boost to Artorium points. Throughout the event, if you reach a maximum amount of points of 2 million, you will receive 5 copies of the free 4-star servant Saber Lily. Strangely, you will receive 6 copies of the Craft Essence Star of Artoria. Now, this Craft Essence is awesome during the duration of the Saber event, by increasing the entire party's damage by 50%, but after the event is over, it becomes really mediocre. You can still keep it, but it will only grant you a Guts buff for 1 HP and a debuff resistance boost of 10%. I'm considering if it would be better to use 5 of them for burning or for craft experience and just to keep 1 for collection. You will also get 1 copy of Purely Bloom, and you can get the other 4 copies from the event store. Purely Bloom is an interesting craft essence. It starts off at 5% boost to Noble Phantasm damage and increases by 5% every turn. So in 8 turns, it will essentially be a free Heaven's Feel. Also, throughout the duration of the Saber Wars event, it will increase the holder's damage by 100%, and if you max limit break, it will increase the damage by 200%. If you're trying to level up crafting essence, we're getting 21 copies of Mysterious Substance Alpha and 20 copies of Mysterious Substance Beta, giving a 30,000 and 10,000 experience boosts respectively. Along the lines of essential materials, there are 20 Void Dust, 10 Talons of Chaos, and 10 Hearts of the Foreign Gods. It's always nice when they hand out rare materials, saves us hundreds of AP. To refill your AP though, we're getting 10 Golden Apples, 11 Silver Apples, 9 Bronze Apples, and even 10 Rainbows Apples as well. For those of us still interested in the Mona Lisa crafting essence, we're getting 30 packages of Mana Prisms. These packages will contain 10, 20, 50, or 100 Mana Prisms. Now, it's confirmed in this event that by completing the event, you will receive 1,050 Mana Prisms, which will help with the Mona Lisa fund. If you don't think even then you're going to get all the copies of Mona Lisa in time, they're also still giving out quite a bit of QP. And one of these events are complete without a chance to get a prize crystallized lore. That's super rare material needed to level a servant's skill to max. That covers all the gifts that they give you for just playing the quest. They also have some goodies in the event shop. Okay, once again we have 3 event currencies. Vacuum tubes for the gold, universal lens for the silver, and transistors for the bronze. Now, as usual, the Saber, Archer, Lancer, and Assassin monuments aren't really that important, seeing as we have the revamped training field quest, so we can get them almost at any time. What you want to concentrate on is the 2 copies of Purely Bloom, the 10 copies of Dragon Reverse Scales, and of course the Phoenix Plumes. For the Universal Lens, you really only have to concentrate on the 1 copy of Pearly Bloom and the 20 copies of the Dragon Fangs. Again, the servant pieces aren't really that important if you have any left over, unless you absolutely need those pieces to upgrade the servants that you have right now. I recommend just trading them in for universal lenses, for vacuum tubes, so you can just transfer it into more QP later. For the bronze, however, I actually recommend clearing out the entire section. Purely Bloom, the Hero Proofs, all the full stat cards, and the EXP cards. And if you have anything left over, you can always trade up for the Universal Lens. For this summoning banner, Servants and Craft Essences are all really appealing this time around. Starting with the Craft Essences, all the artwork is really attractive this time. The Land of Shadows Crimson Lotus has an awesome artwork and a respectable effect of increasing damage for 100 each turn for a max of 1000. And it will also increase the drops of the vacuum tubes. I definitely have to max limit break Makoto Bride Training, giving a 65% chance to heal for 1000 HP per turn when at max, and it will increase Universal Lens drops by 1, but if you max limit break it, it will increase by 2 instead. And you gotta support your waifu Tamio by collecting the merch. True Shot is good for those pesky enemies that just keep spamming their evade skill over and over and over again. Yeah, I'm talking about Yuku. Also, it will increase the drops of Trans-G stores. As for the servants, there's the Limited Servant, Mysterious Heroine X, Nero Claudius, and Artura Pendragon Altar. Also, technically, Saber Lily is on the banner as well, but just as a guaranteed servant. So, first up will be Saber Lily. Now, even as far as event servants go, Saber Lily is rather lackluster. She has the second lowest max attack out of all current Saber servants, with Gilius still at the bottom. Lily does, however, possess also the lowest max HP at just 12,880. Her star absorption does trend upward among Saber servants at 102, but the rest of her stats lie in the middle ground as simply average. And her skills are rather unimpressive as well. Her first skill, Instinct B, will net you critical stars starting from 4 all the way up to 14 if you max it out. Her second skill, and best skill, is Mana Burst A. It will increase her own Buster card performance for 1 turn, starting at 30% and maxing off at 50%. But if you think about it, almost every other Saber-Phase servant has some form of this skill as well, barring Okita, Nero, and I think Jean d'Arc. I think that's all of them. Now, her third skill is Journey of Flowers EX. It will increase the party's Noble Phantasm generation rate for 3 turns. It will start at 10%, and then it will trend all the way up to 20% when you max it out. Though it's not really fair to compare servants in different classes, Oda, another free servant, Strategy B skill starts with an MP generation at 20% at level 1, so her third skill is on the lower side. Her passes are commonplace for the Night class servants, Archer, Lancer, or Sabers. Magic Resistance B for debuff resistance of 17.5%, and Riding C, which will increase quick card performance by 6%, and again, she only has 1 quick card, so it's not really that useful. It's reasonable to judge Lily as a bad Saber. I dare say it was even intentional to her design. All the other Saber servants are at the peak of their strength, whereas Lily is in her youth, immature and blooming with promise. Her Noble Phantasm Caliburn shows some of this promise. Caliburn is an area of effect Noble Phantasm of the Buster variety. Since it is of Buster type, Lily can Buster Brave Chain, adding a much needed attack boost to Lily. Since she is a free servant, it is almost guaranteed that she will be reaching MP5, giving her a damage output of 600%. The secondary effect is unlike any other Saber servant so far. It will heal Lily upward to 5,000 HP, almost half of her max. All of her essential material, except for the Reverse Dragon Scales, which can be bought during the event, is on the common side. Also, her skill reinforcement materials all the way up to level 6 are easy to obtain. even though it doesn't seem like it. All of her skills do complement themselves in a rather roundabout way. Journey of the Flowers EX, MP's generation boost, will get a further boost if being able to crit using the critical stars from Instinct B, and it will aid in obtaining your Noble Phantasm quicker, so she can use Mana Burst before using Caliburn. Saber Lily isn't a saber built to nuke her foes. She is a squire aspiring to become a knight that we know she will be in the future. Since she needs some nurturing, fragments of 2030 Waver, Hans, Tamamo, or Halloween Elizabeth would do well for support helping with crit stars and MP gain. A frontliner such as Altera, Hercules, or Altera Pendragon Lancer Alter will aid in Lily's lack of attack and pair well with a Buster crit team. Next up is Artoria Pendragon Alter. The uninhibited version of Saber boasts a superior max attack of 12,408. It is the highest attack stat of all 4-star Sabers, and the 4th highest attack stat out of all current Saber servants. She has an average max HP of 14,051, an average star absorption of 99, an MP gain on attack of 0.86, and an MP defense charge at 3%. Her star generation at 9.9% is on the lower side. She does have a quick Arts Buster deck. Now her skills are quite the same to Saber Lily's. First up is Mana Burst A, which will increase her Buster card performance from 30% upwards to 50%. Her second skill, Instinct B, will also give her 4 stars all the way up to 14. Her last skill, Charisma E, will increase party's attack for 3 turns from 6% up to 12%. Her one passive skill is Magic Resistance B, which will increase debuff resistance by 17.5. Her Noble Phantasm, once I scroll down, is Excalibur Morgan. Excalibur Morgan is a Buster type Noble Phantasm built for wave clearing. It will start at a damage output of 450% at MP1, maxing out at 650% at MP5. The secondary effect of her Noble Phantasm will recharge her MP gauge from 10% all the way up to 30% based on charge. Now, fully ascending Salter will be somewhat costly since she needs every type of the rarest essential materials, such as Talons of Chaos, Dragon Reverse Scales, and Heart of the Foreign God. Reinforcing her skills isn't going to be quite easy either, needing more Talons of Chaos at just level 4 of her skills. Now, Salter, unlike her inexperienced counterpart, needs no coddling. She has one job and she does it with relative ease, destroying anything that does not please her. Her deck and skills make her versatile enough so she can fit in almost any team formation. Premium servants that work well with her include Jeanne d'Arc, Waver, Gilgamesh, and Elizabeth Bathory. For those free-to-play players, Hans, William Shakespeare, David, and Elizabeth Bathory Halloween version are also viable for support. Next up is another fan favorite for anyone who's played Fate Extella, Fate Extra, or Fate CCC, and that would be Nero. Nero has a max grilled attack of 11,441, which is slightly above average. She has a max HP of 14,250, which is on the average side. Her star absorption at 102 is trending upward amongst Saber servants, along with her star generation at 10.1%. Her MP gain on attack is somewhat low compared to others, but not by much. Her MP charge on defense is 3%, which is the same for all other Saber servants. She has the typical Saber deck, Quick Arts, Buster. Now, all of Umu's skills give her the most survivability of almost any other Saber servant that's currently out. Skill 1, Migraine B, will increase mental debuff resistance or charm resistance, seeing as there's no other mental debuff skill currently on the NA version, for 3 turns, and will also recover her own HP. At level 1, debuff resistance will increase by 50%, maxing out at 100% at level 10. At level 1, she will also heal 500 HP, and at level 10, heal 2000 HP. Her second skill, and almost most broken skill, is Imperial Privilege EX. Now, Imperial Privilege EX will do 3 things. It will recover her HP, it will have a chance of increasing her attack, and increasing her defense for 3 whole turns. At level 1, both attack and defense increase will be at 22%, maxing out at 44% at level 10. At base, she will heal for 1200 HP and at max 3400 HP. So, not only will she heal, she will become stronger after it, usually. Her last skill, coupled with her other skills, make her almost impossible to get rid of. Thrice Setting Sun A takes Hercules Bond 10 craft essence and places it inside of a reusable skill. It will gain her a rare boon of a triple guts buff. She will revive with 300 HP at base and 600 HP at max. So, if you want her to stay down, you will have to beat her a bare minimum of 4 times. Her passive skills are Magic Resistance C, which will increase debuff resistance and Riding B, which will increase quick card performance by 8%. Still, only 1 quick card though. Now, her Noble Phantasm, Lost St. Claudius, is an anti-encampment Archetype Noble Phantasm, dealing damage to all enemies ignoring their defense. Now, at MP1, it has a damage output of 450%, and at MP5 will have a damage output of 750%, but after her interlude, that will change by another 150%. The secondary effect decreases enemy defense from 20% to 40%. However, the debuff only lasts 1 turn. So the 40% defense drop is pointless because to reach 500%, it would have to be the last in the chain, thus wasting the debuff. Her essential materials are a bit on the grindy side, needing octuplet crystals, phoenix feathers, ghost lanterns, and eternal gears. All of them, except for eternal gears, can be found in the Training Ground weekly quest. I hope you don't think you're going to catch a break for her skill reinforcement materials either, because she needs almost the exact same materials that she needs to ascend herself, minus the ghost lanterns, of course. Nero is best suited for Arch team comp. She is that servant that won't quit if her master's in trouble, so any servants that help her stay up is well received. The premium servants that mesh well with her are Medea Lily, Tamamo, Orion, Jean, Vlad, or Waver. The free servants that can aid her are Mash, Hans, Mozart, Elizabeth Bathory, Halloween, and Paracelsus. And the last thing we're going to talk about is what everyone's waiting for, MHX. No, not that one. I'm talking about Mysterious Heroine X. The rate up 5-star servant for this banner has a max attack of 12,874, well above the average for assassins, and the same can be said for her max HP of 13,909. Her star absorption is on the average side at 98, generation at 25.6%, and the defending NP gain at 4%. Her NP gain on attack is on the lower side at 8.1%. She has an unusual deck for assassins containing quick, arts, and 1 buster. That additional arts card does help with her lower NP gain, I assume. Her first skill, Fire Support EX, once activated, if MHX is still present the following turn, has a chance to stun all enemies for 1 turn. The chance success starts at 60% and picks up at 80% at max. Her second skill is Instinct C+, grants her crit stars from 4 all the way upwards to 14, but once she gets her strengthening quest down the line, she will upgrade to Star of Saber C++, which will grant her invincibility for 1 turn and pulling in an additional. Her third unique skill is Galaxy Meteor Sword C. This skill increases star generation rate against Saber-type enemies for 3 turns, and increases on attack against Saber-type enemies for 3 turns as well. Guess she doesn't like the Sabers. Star rate will move plus 50% at base and plus 100% at max. Her attack, on the other hand, will go from 30% at base all the way up to 50% at max. The passive skills for MHX are very good for her role. She can utilize the Riding EX skill, boosting the performance of 3 of her cards, Noble Phantasm included, by 12%. On top of her class star generate, Cosmo Reactor A will further increase her star generation by another 10%. Her Noble Phantasm Secret Caliber is a single target, quick type Noble Phantasm that has an outstanding base damage output of 1200%, and if you're somehow blessed enough, a max damage output of 2000%. That is until you complete her third interlude, pushing her secret caliber from rank A+ to rank EX, gaining another 400% damage. Her secondary effect deals extra damage to saber face types enemies, starting at 150%, upwards to 200% in additional damage. If you clean out the event store, you will be able to fully ascend her and have just enough left over to push one of her skills up to level 5. MHX is very good at producing critical stars, so she fits fairly well on a quick crit team. Premium servants that work well with her include Atlante, Francis Drake, and Bonnie and Mary Reed, and Gilgamesh. Budget servants for support are Santa Alter, Elizabeth Bathory, Halloween, Hans, and Medusa. That is a lot of information to digest, but with the event right around the corner, it's best to be as prepared as possible. If you're thinking about trying to summon Mysterious Heroine X, I hope everyone has their Saint course ready, because it's going to be quite a wait before we get another chance. This is Ripsy Thun, everyone, wishing all my fellow masters the best, and may the courts be with you. Bye, peoples.
我が才を見よ、万来の喝采を聞け、しかしてたたえよ、黄金の劇場を